the dying establishment, people are rejecting it. But there's the converse of that. The dying establishment, like when a woman tries to leave a man that's beating her, they're going to try to break our jaw in the parking lot. We're trying to get in the car. They're trying to keep us from escaping. And so we're at that point. We're trying to get in the station wagon with the kids. We're trying to pile them in. And, the drunk mean, is right there punching us in the face. But at the end, we're getting out of Dodge. We're leaving Egypt. We're going on to the promised land here. And it's going to take, that archetype of the promised land. It's going to take 40 years or whatever out in the wilderness, but at least we're not going to be slaves anymore. So we're in that process of emancipation right now. They're pissed. They're freaking out because they want control. Any fulfilled person is out fishing or hunting or hanging with family like you and I are. There's a beautiful sunset. We're having a great dinner, playing with our dogs, our cats, our kids. These people are not fulfilled. They don't have that. If you study globalists, they are the most empty. You look at Soros or Alexander Soros, they have nothing. So they're projecting their hatred just like a Hitler or a Stalin or a Lenin on us. We've got to realize they are mentally ill, they are sick, they are cancer, they're malfunctioning. We don't hate them. We just politically cut them out and separate them from the rest of society. And we're at that point right now of the surgery. America and the world's going under the knife, and let's hope and pray that it's successful surgery. Because if it's not, World War III.
It's just amazing that they tried to cancel you. And what you just said, even if people don't agree with it ever, it's so much more interesting and smart than anything ever uttered on CNN or MSNBC. And I worked at those channels, so I know for a fact. So I just think that...
Well, they just want to be called out. You know that. You know better than I do. We're just real people. There's no teleprompters, other than like I have a few notes, you have a few notes of stuff you wrote yourself.
Andy, those are my notes.
No, but it's different when you write the teleprompter. Just like I have in my office, I have a teleprompter sometimes too. When I have time, I'll write what I want to say, my talking points. But it's your words. It's my words.
Yeah.
But it's CNN and Fox News and other places, they're loading it for you. The difference is we write our own notes here.
So what's the experience, not to get sidetracked, but it was so interesting what you said about your commitment to just telling the truth in your personal life and your professional life. What's the effect on you once you decide, I'm going to really try not to lie at all ever?
Your brain is all our brains are a powerful electrochemical computer. And so so it's like AI. When they corrupt AI and give it some woke agenda, it doesn't work right. It messes up. You see the Gemini thing with Google, and then it messes the whole thing up. They wanted a little bit of erase the white people, not totally erase them. So it backfired. Now Google's down $70 billion in market cap, huge scandal, because it's so ridiculous. So from my own research and studying mainline literature and scientific research on it, but I've already experienced it. So I did the research. I went out and found that what I'd already experienced was real. When you tell your brain to lie or to not be honest, you're really lying to yourself. And then you start using all this brain capacity to figure out the lie and to then try to project things to cover up the lie. When you get into I'm at a neurotic level of telling the truth. People, I go on the air and talk bad about myself and bad things I did. People say, why is he doing that? Because the more I do it, the more my brain cleans out, and now it's just laser focused, and now I know things much clearer. And so it's like removing computer viruses. And so when you get to the point of just not lying, I used to tell lies every day. Leftists tell lies continually. The thing is, you go to the other extreme, all you do is tell lies. So when you start moving away from lies, you get to the point where, well, I told one lie this week, and that was terrible. Because it's robbing from you, not just people you're lying to. So I've gotten to the point of almost zero lying. And it's super empowering. And again, it's cleaning out your computer to where your brain can then operate, not worrying about telling lies. It can just say what's accurate.
That's amazing. I strongly sense that what you just said is the key to everything. To tell the truth, period, no matter what.
It is, and that means sometimes it's painful. Because I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but at the end of the day, we just got to say this. We got to say it.
So, back to the behavior, the impulses, the motives of the people running things. Obviously, they're incompetent. That's demonstrable. But they're also kind of monomaniacal. Like, they're very focused on certain hatreds. And just judging by what they say, their main hatred is for white people who are the majority of the country. They talk about it constantly. They've set up a whole regime to punish white people on the basis of their skin color. You're not allowed to mention it. You're the racist. Okay, got it. But I don't think I've ever seen it on clearer display than in a now sort of famous MSNBC segment from last week. I hate to even play their garbage, but this is just so amazing. I have to play it for you.
Why are white rural voters a threat to democracy at this point? You would think, as we pointed out, looking at Joe Biden's background and Donald Trump's, that the opposite would be true.
I mean, we lay out the fourfold interconnected threat that white rural voters pose to the country. First of all, and we show 30 polls and national studies to demonstrate this. So we provide the receipts in Chapter 6. They're the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, and anti-gay geodemographic group in the country. Second, they're the most conspiracist group. QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism and scientific skepticism, Obama birtherism. Third, anti-democratic sentiments. They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalists. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence.
So there's so many things that are interesting about what those two pigs are saying on television. And the most interesting to me is that white rural voters are, of course, the weakest people in America.
Well, when rural people, period, are the
rural people,
strongest.
period. That's exactly right, regardless of race. But that none of the supposed crimes that he mentioned, whether they're true or not, are crimes of action. They're all thought crimes. And so they're the most dangerous people in the country, not because they're killing others or embezzling money or getting rich through the carried interest loophole or starting wars, pushing people in front of subway trains. They're the most dangerous because they have thoughts that those two pigs don't like. It's so interesting.
Well, this is the whole key. And, of course, what you played, as I know you're a newshound like I am, is just emblematic of all of it. That is the Carnegie Foundation. That's the CIA. That's the liberation theology at the universities. They know the world's 93% not white. So they think, well, we'll control these people who are exploiting by making all their ills about rural white people in America. But if you go to rural areas, I don't care if you're black, Hispanic, white, people are all basically populist. They're conservative. They know what's going on. They live on the land. They're not stupid.
And they haven't done anything to anybody. That's the remarkable
They have the lowest
thing.
crime rate.
Well, yeah, like, what's their crime? Well, their attitudes are bad. Like, they will kill people for having the wrong attitudes. I mean, that's what they're saying.
And that's what it comes down to. If you remember in June of 2001, when Biden had just stolen the election, in my view, and gotten into power, he put out that national anti-terrorism perspective, national directive, and he said white supremacism is the number one threat. Then he defined white supremacism as questioning lockdowns or open borders or forced shots. And so it's real simple. That MSNBC talking point from 10 years ago that all Republicans are racist, they're trying to codify into law and then define racist as anyone that doesn't want to give up their cows or their farm or be a slave. So what they're threatened by is self-sufficient people, because it's a military takeover by the left and by the WHO. And we talked about this when I was on 3 or 4 months ago on your show out of Maine. They are literally understanding we've got the cities, we're about to take the dollar, we're collapsing the border. Who is the opposition? They're already lasing the target that it's the rural people. Remember I said next it's get the rurals, they're the enemy. And now that talking point is everywhere. I probably saw that clip 30 times the last week, 50 times the last month. And that's their next target, just like when Lenin and Trotsky and Stalin took over just Moscow and a few cities, took them 5 years to take over Russia. Who was the target? The farmers.
The kulaks.
Because they produce the food. And if you get them, now you've got everybody. So they're doing as you did a few weeks ago with that incredible lady, a Maoist/Stalinist Lenin playbook because it works. And so this is happening. This isn't a question. This is going down.